Hi everyone, my name is Sean Hardwick, attorney at Hardwick and Krause. Today we're going to be talking about what goes into parenting plans. So specifically, parental responsibility, time sharing, and then some of the other details that are included in a parenting plan. And I think to start off, I think it's important to note that custody is not a thing in Florida. So I have a lot of clients that come to me and they say they want sole custody, and I think they're combining parental responsibility and time sharing. And so that's why it's important to break that down and to explain what each of those means in Florida. So to begin with, first we're going to talk about parental responsibility. So parental responsibility is the decision-making authority of the parents. So each parent's ability to make major decisions on behalf of the children. So we're talking about things like where does the child go to school, emergency medical decisions for the child, where the child goes to the doctor, and those types of things. We're not talking about, when the child is with mom or the child is with dad, do they have the ability to go to McDonald's or Taco Bell or any of those types of things. We're not talking about those day-to-day decisions. We're talking about major decisions. And so there's three ways that parental responsibility is outlined in Florida. And so the most typical that we see in probably 90 to 95% of the cases is what's called shared parental responsibility. That means that each parent has an equal say in the major decisions affecting the child. So both mom and dad have an equal right to make these major decisions on behalf of the kids. The most extreme example is what's called ultimate decision making. That means that one parent, whether it's mom or dad, has full control or full say over these major decisions on behalf of the child. And that will typically happen if the court thinks that one parent cannot make those decisions effectively, whether that parent's incarcerated, whether that parent has mental health issues, whether that parent, suffers from substance abuse issues, or a variety of things that could play into that. But that's obviously the most extreme of the, things as far as parental responsibility is concerned. Now there's this sort of hybrid in the middle called shared parental responsibility with ultimate decision making. So that means that each parent, both mom and dad, have to come together to make major decisions on behalf of the child, but the parent with ultimate decision making, if they disagree with the other parent, they can go do whatever they want. And so it's a really weird sort of middle ground where basically one parent has to pretend that they care about what the other parent has to say, and they're required to go seek the input of the other parent, but ultimately, that parent can do whatever the heck they want. And so that is parental responsibility. So getting to the second point, what is time sharing? Time sharing is the actual time that each parent spends with the child. So that will include what the schedule looks like every single week. And so there's a variety of different options that could pan out week to week. So one is that each parent has the child for the consecutive week. It's called week on, week off. So mom will have the child one week, dad will have the child the next week, and so on and so forth. You could have a variety of, the child spends 2 days with mom, 2 days with dad, and then the weekend with mom, and then it'll alternate. So then 2 days with dad, 2 days with mom, and then the weekend with dad. So there's a variety of different examples of how that week-to-week schedule would look, but that's obviously a major component of what's called time sharing. Another major component of time sharing is the holiday schedule. So how do those holidays look? And holidays have priority over the week-to-week schedule. So if we have a regular schedule where mom is supposed to have Sunday, but that Sunday is Father's Day, it's most likely that the child will spend that day with dad instead of mom, for example. And we can see that with all types of other holidays. And parents have, different priorities as to what holidays are important for them versus the other ones. So it's important to figure out a schedule that works based off, what holidays are priority for you and what holidays are priority for the other parent. And so there's some other details that go into this parenting plan that need to be ironed out as well. And one of those is, where are the exchanges of the child going to take place? So are pickups and drop-offs going to exclusively be at the child's school? Is one parent going to bring the child to the other parent's house and vice versa? Are exchanges going to be at a police station? Are exchanges going to be at a public park or a grocery store? There's a variety of different ways to outline where these exchanges are going to happen. You can put parameters on who can watch the child. So you could put in there that all babysitters need to be disclosed to the other parent, and that person's contact information needs to be provided to them, so their name, their phone number, and they need to be available whenever that person is watching the child. You could have what's called a right of first refusal, which means if one parent is going to be gone for a set period of time, the other parent has the ability to watch the child. So for example, if one parent's going to be gone for longer than 8 hours, then the other parent has you have to let the other parent know that you're going to be gone for longer than 8 hours, and the other parent has the ability to watch the child instead of you getting a babysitter for the night. So there's a variety of things that go into here. Another one is communications. So how are the parents going to communicate to each other? Is it going to be through text? Is it going to be through email? Is it going to be through phone calls? Is it going to be in person? Obviously if there's issues with communications, it might be best to use what's called a parenting app. So where all the communications are tracked and you're able to, share calendars and appointments and all that good stuff, so everyone's on the same page about everything. And, what are the times for communicating with the children? Obviously, best case scenario, that communication would be open all of the time, but we see situations where one parent will abuse that and contact the children nonstop when they're with the other parent, so maybe there needs to be parameters in there surrounding that. And so those are just some of the factors that go into a parenting plan. It's not all of them. Obviously, there's a lot that goes into the relationship between each parent and the child and how all of that needs to be regulated. So if you need any help with that, with establishing a parenting plan or reviewing a parenting plan that you already have, or need to change the parenting plan for any reason, feel free to give us a call. We're more than happy to help. Our number is 772-208-3118. Thank you.